Hello, it's me, Shiv from Language Lab, and today we're going to talk about community driven events. Now, community driven is a big buzzword for all internet related stuff. Everyone's always talking about community generated, user generated, community driven, but what does that actually mean and how could we use it to help our students? Now, schools are traditionally run from the top down. So the people at the top decide the syllabus, the classes, the activities, the timetables, and everything like that. Community driven is pretty much the opposite of that. So we let the students decide anything from the syllabuses to the classes to the activities to the timetables to what work they want to do. Now that sounds quite unnatural as it's not the traditional way of doing things, but it does have many advantages. The biggest one being students are more engaged with the things they create themselves. So a community-driven project is more engaging than one you impose upon them. It encourages people to work collaboratively. Students have a much better knowledge of their needs than teachers often do, so they can design activities to best suit them. It encourages the students to take responsibility for their learning, and it provides numerous opportunities for peer learning and mentoring and tutoring of other students. So here's an example of exactly such an event from Language Lab. So a couple of weeks ago, this exhibition was set up in our art gallery. Now, we have lessons in here normally, but the difference between this one is every photo in here was taken by one of our students, a student from Germany known as Anna Maria, who's also an amateur photographer. So she asked if she can put on an exhibition. So her and her friends came to the gallery. They put up all the images themselves, set up everything themselves, and created a time. So they said they'll be around at a certain time for students to come and look at their work and ask questions about it. And when that time came, we put it on our calendar, of course. We put it on our calendar and our blogs and publicized it for her. That's pretty much all we did. When that time came, students went around the gallery discussing the different photos. Okay, so she initially planned to put this exhibition on once, and when that time came, about 15 different students turned up, and they were all from all over the place: China, Japan, Germany, France, and they all went around the gallery as if she was curating it, and gave their opinions on the photos, asked what it meant to her, and discussed several aspects of it. These are mostly photos of London, so there's some things that look like traditional London, like red buses that you can see, and some pictures of places like Chinatown, and the Chinese students have very interesting perspectives on Chinatown in London compared to a Chinese town in China and things like this. So right off the bat, this took zero work from us at Language Lab and generated 2 hours worth of conversation, discussion, language use, natural language use from the students. And the students volunteered for and came to. And after that initial 2 hours, there were frequent drop-ins from students who couldn't make the initial exhibition and have heard about it and came round to have a look and discuss it and talk about it later. And then this is also something students later write about on their blogs, tweet about, put on Facebook, etc. So we've got 2 hours of English use there from without a teacher needed, without any organisation needed, without really anything at all from us, all driven by the user. All we really had to do is let them do it and get out of their way. I'm showing you the empty gallery now because we're about to take this down, but I'll get some footage of the students actually using it from someone that was there and put that back later. So now this is a great strength of web stuff. Students, you can give the students freedom to do anything they're interested in, and because we teach English here, as long as students are speaking English and it's relevant and appropriate language, we don't really mind what kind of events they generate. So you'll find every week at Language Lab there's lots of different spin-off events generated by the users themselves, which sort of gives them the maximum number of opportunities to practice English. Another surprising thing that comes out of these peer learning or community-driven events is the level of the students and how that affects learning. Anna Maria in this case is an advanced level student, so her English is pretty good. The students that came along were a mixed range of levels, from lower intermediate, right through intermediate. So it was quite a challenge for Anna Maria to explain the different vocabulary she was using, different language she was using to students of a lower level. This is a brilliant example of peer learning. Her having to explain the English she was using to students of a lower level kind of reinforced her own learning and her own usage of the language. So that was my video for this week, a quick explanation of community-driven projects. Essentially all you need to do this is give students the freedom really to do stuff like this, and they'll produce pretty brilliant things. That's all from me. I'll talk to you next time.